like to welcome each and every one to what I feel is one of the great occasions in my lifetime. And for the mere fact, it's a pleasure, it's a sentiment, and it's my gratitude that I have for former Mayor Sills from day one. And whether he knew or not, how grateful we were for him and what he's been doing. So at this time, I'm going to get started and bring those up that want to speak, and I ask that you be conscious of your time frame so that everyone else that has the opportunity will be able to speak. I want to first recognize the family of Jim Sills. Will you please stand up, each and every one of you? And of course, our mayor, current mayor, Mayor Williams. And we have County Exec Tom Gordon here. Who is that? Oh. And our Senator Chris Coons will be speaking. And our legislators, will you please come forward that are here? We have Senator Henry, Senator Marshall, Representative Johnson, and Representative Brian Troy. And our county officials, Representative County Councilman Jay Street, who's going to speak, and our President of County Council, Chris Bullock. We have the members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated that are here, guys. Monday Club members. All those that can raise their hand, raise it. And colleagues and friends. So thank you so much for being able to come here this morning. Council member Justin Wright, I see just came in. And if I missed anyone, please just let us know. Oh, well, you're going to be up here. And Councilwoman Hanifa Shabazz. Anybody else out there? Where? Oh, how can I miss Bud Frill? He's been here all day working with me. Councilmember Bud Frill, 28th District. And we have representatives here from Carper's office, Senator Carper. Oh, I know. Okay, so first speaker is going to be our Secretary, Shaileen Bhatt.
It's nice to get applause at a bridge event in Wilmington. And I am happy to discuss this bridge here today. And it's fine, it's good, it's open. And in the interest of time, I'm going to keep my remarks very short. Most of my experiences with actually Jim Sills, our Secretary of DTI, and if the son is anything like the father, I can only imagine that the tree itself is very strong. And there's a poem I like to read when I talk about bridges, and it's called The Bridge Builder. And I won't read the entire poem today, just in the interest of time. But the bridge talks about the fact that this elderly man comes to a stream and he builds a bridge at the end of the day, and somebody asked him, why are you building that bridge? You're not going to come back this way, so why not just get across to the other side and go on? And he says, there are youth that will come after me, that this stream might prove to be more of a challenge, and so that's the people, the youth. I am building this bridge for them. And so to me, when I read through the biography and everything that Mayor Sills has done in his time, whether it was with the university, with the NAACP, the city. To me, it's not just the physical bridges that we build, but it's the metaphorical bridges that get built for the people who are going to come along afterwards. And so, as one public servant to another, sir, I want to thank you for all of your service, and we are so proud today to be able to dedicate this bridge in your name. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to go in the order the program because I didn't list people by names. I know a lot of people want to speak and are so appreciative for everything that Mayor Sills has done. So I'm going to start with our federal congressional delegation, which would be Senator Chris Coons.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Representative Bolden. Thank you for convening this moment, and thank you for leading this effort to make sure that we remember, that we honor, and that we teach. One of the things about Mayor Sills that first impressed me about him was his commitment to teaching, to 25 years at the University of Delaware as a teacher. And I'm sure his family arrayed behind him could tell us other stories about his role as teacher from childhood on. But his efforts to teach in the classroom, in the council chamber, across the city, and now going forward to the future are what I wanted to focus on for a moment. Because he didn't just teach in words, he taught in action. He didn't just give great speeches, he built bridges. So I can think of no better way for us to thank you, sir, for your outreach, for your bridge building, and for the way that you laid a new road for those who would come after you, than to recognize your service as the 53rd mayor of the city of Wilmington by the naming of this bridge. There are so many folks we could thank and recognize. I was pleased to see Art Boswell here today, who was a central part of a lot of that effort and work. I am pleased, a round of applause if you would, for Chief of Staff Art Boswell. I'm pleased to see your family with you who have gone on to great careers and leadership in the community. And I'm pleased to see folks who have been a part of your legacy, your life, and your leadership. And I'm thrilled we get a chance to do this with you, to say thank you, and to recognize that by naming this bridge, we are naming something that needs to be done. The building of bridges for those who will come after you and who will learn from your example. When my wife and I were first courting, I lived in a house literally right there at the far corner. You can see it just the far corner of this park. And we would walk this route all the way around this river, and every now and then I would stop and read an historical plaque, and she'd say, "Why are you doing that? You're trying to ignore me. I'm just trying to talk to you." And I'd say, we should know the names of those who led our city before us. We should know the names of those who helped build this great city. So as I close, let me just quote, if I could, Isaiah 43, which is an important reminder for us of how God has moved through waters, through great periods of challenge. Isaiah 43 says, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. Those who build bridges build a route, not to go through the river, but to go over the river, to uplift and to make plain and to make straight the ways of justice." Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your leadership. And thank you for everyone who helped contribute to the legacy that we honor today.
Thank you. The opening prayer, that wasn't the opening prayer. However, we're going to ask President of County Council and Pastor of Canaan Baptist Church, Chris Bullock, the Honorable Chris Bullock, to come and give us the opening prayer. Thank you.
Shall we pray? Our God, we thank you for this historic occasion to bless this leader, this steward, servant, one who made history in our great city. We thank you for his impeccable character. We thank you for his boldness. We thank you for all that he meant and means to this city, this state, and this nation. Bless now, O God, this bridge. As a bridge over troubled waters, Mayor Sills led us into political prosperity. One, O God, whose you use for your glory to help the least of these, the downtrodden, to give hope to the hopeless, a voice to the voiceless. And above all, he was steadfast in his leadership. We thank you that he is yet here to see this momentous occasion. to hear all the accolades, and to share in the wonders of your beauty, that this bridge will always be known as the Dr. Jim Sills Bridge. And may it inspire others to be bridges of hope, bridges of power, bridges of servanthood, and above all, bridges of stewardship of your people. We thank you for his family. We thank you for those gathered. And we bless your name at all times. Today we praise you. This is our prayer and our blessing. Amen.
Okay, we'll go in order now for those who want to come and make remarks, starting with our county exec. And then following him will be our state legislators, county, whichever way you want to do it. I don't want to go, because it's the importance of the time frame and those of you that know him most and want to share most. For example, like Jay Street.
Thank you very much, and good morning. I had the opportunity of being county executive with 4 years of Wilmington's greatest mayor, one of the Wilmington's greatest mayor. And Jim is the mayor. I never could call you Jim. I still call him mayor. Is the one responsible for the prosperities of the 90s. It was this mayor that brought MB&A into the city of Wilmington. And as a young executive, I got to work hand in hand with you, Mayor, and I appreciate everything you've taught. He's very scholarly, very intelligent, very thoughtful, and he was the mayor of all people. And the city did very well under your tutelage. And Mayor, I'm very proud that that people today that have taken the time to dedicate this bridge, and I'm very proud that I could be part of it. And we're still working together. You have a lot more to offer. Thank you very much.
Well, good morning. I want to say that the Sills family have been part of my life since the early 1970s, so everything about my experiences have been very personal. I want to say, Mayor, that you remind me of a movie that I love now. It's called The Transformers. Because when you came in, you transformed a whole bunch of things, and you continue to, your legacy continues to do that. So we want to thank you for being the transformer for Delaware and for Wilmington. Your time in the state was important to the city of Wilmington because you represented the city well. When you came to the city as mayor, you took what you learned at the state and developed the city further. And you have this awesome family you gave birth to that are making their own legacies. And so we're just very proud to be part of your day today. Thank you.
Thank you. It's enjoyable to be here. Briefly, the thoughts and memories of Jim Sills. I know Jim was on city council and became a state rep, then mayor, professor. The one thing about Jim Sills, he was willing to rock the boat for all the right reasons. And there's an enormous amount of respect, Jim, for you and all that you did. I remember I had an uncle who was in politics, and we usually didn't agree and didn't get along. But my uncle always went head-to-head with Jim Sills. And it made me feel good to see Jim Sills go head-to-head as I did with my uncle in the political arena. He is a great reputation. And Jim, there's another part to this. People's Settlement is kind of, having some challenges right now. And they're a group that are trying to get it up and back. And the real purpose of today is to offer you and Boswell the opportunity to come back on a short-term contract and get that program up and running. Jim, are you ready? Thank you.
Jay?
Jay.
In the interest of time, I'm gonna be a while. I have a resolution here signed by the President and I, and it says all the things that a resolution is supposed to say. It talks about the fact that he was the first black man elected as councilman at large. It talks about all his untiring efforts as a volunteer, past president of NAACP. His leadership in numerous community organizations. Talks, of course, historically about him being the first African-American mayor. Talks about his profession, his history as a professor at the University of Delaware. And I'm going to hand this to you when I'm finished, but I'm going to make this real personal, because it is personal. I love you with all my heart. And the cliche says, you never forget from whence you come. That's right. December 1974, I finished the University of Delaware, and this man said he's only 22, but he's worthy of taking on the responsibility of assisting with the transition in the school desegregation. What some folks want to forget is he served on the Christina School Board as president. He served on the Super Board representing the city. What folks very often will forget, and I'm going to make you remember today, not for Jim Sills and the fact that the School Decision Committee basically representing the suburbs on one end. As a director of the Urban Agent Program, he said we must have something in the city to assist with the transition. Thus, the Parent Educational Resource Center, established by the Home and School Council, they hired me. I had no idea I'd be on the battlefield for 39 years. But he made that possible. And my view is, not for him, all the peaceful implementation we talked about, I'm not so sure it would have happened. While I'm talking, I want to recognize the presence of Keith Booker, former president of the Wilmington branch NAACP. Historically, when Keith was president, he registered more people that year that Mayor Sills was elected than anybody else, and I'm not so sure it would have been as easy if Keith hadn't been out there working the way he was working. So Keith, thank you. Behind every great man, there's a great woman. I remember when he was running for office, Senator Holloway brought his remarks, and the last thing Senator Holloway said was, separate and apart from Jim, I believe that Evelyn Sills needs to be the First Lady of this city. He couldn't have done it without her. We want to say thank you to the Sills family for the sacrifice that they've made, what they've done for us. Me personally, a lot of folks say I can write. Two things, Jim. One, you're the only person in this town, 1994, said, son, you can do more than raise hell, and you can do more than run a little community center. I want you to come be my parks director. Now he didn't know, and I didn't know that I never had a boss before. And he was glad to see me go. But I appreciate the opportunity. And you talk about teaching, folks say I could write. If you were around Jim Sills, you weren't allowed to send anything that was grammatically out. And I jumped up and down like a little kid. The last letter I wrote as parks director. I called him, it was a big fight with the state and food program. I called him because the letter had to come from him. He said, Jay, it's a good letter. Sign my name, Jim Sills, and send it. I said, I'm not signing your name, I'll be right there to bring it to you. I hung up the phone, jumped up and down like a little kid. Chanel walked in and said, what the hell is wrong with you? I said, it took me 20 years to finally write something that he didn't have to mark on. And finally, given what I do and the transition that he helped us with, that he made possible with school desegregation, you can't talk about school desegregation and not recognize the presence of Dr. Joseph Johnson, because Joe and Jim made that possible for us. I love you, thank you for everything, and you're a role model and teacher for us all. To the brothers in red and white, he only made one mistake.
All right, we don't discriminate. I'd like to recognize nominee council member back there, County Council Primrose Holland. City Council Theo Gregory. Okay.
Just very quickly, I'm sorry, I just came to court. But of course, Mayor Sills was my professor at the University of Delaware. I slept in his class. My wife, who was my girlfriend, then took all the notes. I had to go to football practice. So I appreciated you then. I appreciated you as mayor, and this is well deserved, if not more. And in fact, thank you very much.
Also, those of you that were employed under Mayor Sills' administration, would you just hold up your hands, please, that are here? There. I'd like to recognize Herman Holloway Jr. And of course, the council person for this area, Darius Brown. I'm still looking, making sure I'm not missing anybody. I know how that is, especially with the council member. He's always overlooked. So I ask that you please welcome our mayor, our current mayor for the city of Wilmington, Dennis Williams.
Well, I'm going to give Mayor Sills some accolades, and he doesn't like me to tell people this. I met him back in around 1967 when I got myself in a little bit of trouble with my probation officer. I went to his office and kicked the trash can over. He told me to pick the paper up. I said I wasn't going to do it. And he grabbed me on my collar, put me in a bulky death grip, and I was picking the trash up like a dump. And he taught me one thing, that he was tougher than me. And he sits there sometimes when I bring this up. He doesn't like me to tell people this, but let me say something to you. Mayor Sills, you gave me the courage to run for mayor. And I'm mayor today because of you. The day you kicked my butt in your office, I was just light. I didn't tell him everything you did to me. That's the reason I'm here today. I want to say this to you, sir. I want to thank you so much, because without you, I know I wouldn't be the 55th mayor of this city. Thank you.
We want to get to the unveiling of the bridge, and as you notice, there are two reefs there, and that's ceremonial. What we'll do is one will go in by the family, we'll throw it in one side of the bridge and the other off the other side of the bridge in honor of its naming. I guess I'm going to be the final person to speak before we walk over, unless there's someone else. Oh. I just like to say, first of all, and I did right because they never let me speak at council meetings, you know that. So, Mayor Sills, I just want to really thank God for the privilege of being able to have this bridge named in your name. You have truly been an inspiration to me. Just to go back a little, in 1992, when we were both elected, I was more excited about your election than I was about mine, because everybody was just going crazy. And then it reminded me again of another time, 2008, when President Obama was elected. So you were the first, even in our celebrating here in Little Wilmington, going forward for the first African American mayor, as I think the same sentiment was with Obama. Although we didn't have all those people, but they were all out there for you during that time. But I want to take you back just a little bit. And council member at that time, Oliver, will remember. Under your administration, we had a lot of conversations, and we talked about little city halls. When I was in Boston, worked for Kevin White as mayor. And you establish some of those. They were the little city halls, but they were mini stations is what we end up calling them. You were very supportive when we launched the Camera Watch program. And we put cameras in 10 high crime areas at that time, which was able to bring the crime down that was going on in those particular areas. Didn't matter what district, they were in all the districts that had the highest crime. And as mentioned, the launching of MBNA. Charlie Copley loved you. And he brought in MBNA, which provided jobs and took vacant lots and turned them into housing and buildings. The other was the crowd that was all over when it was packed at Rodney Square for the Clifford Brown Jazz Festival. People came from all over knowing that we were going to have the best entertainment ever during that time. The African American Festival that Hanifa Shabazz used to do, starting at Kirkwood Park, then down around here. The Mayor's Ball that you started, that we were able to go to. And of course, the implementation of First Night, which went from Rodney Square all the way down to Down Street. And some other things that were started that maybe didn't last that long was our first little grocery store we had over there. And then we had the opening of Marion T. Academy, our first charter school that was here in the city. And I could go on and on and on about those things. But the one thing I want to remember is, Norman still here? Oliver? The most memorable one was when we went to South Africa. We took the trip to Johannesburg, South Africa. And we went there with the products made in the USA, dealing with the Port of Wilmington. And I'll never forget wherever this place was, and they wanted us to try these worms that they eat. And the worms were huge. And they looked like hot dogs. They were so big. And so everybody looked at Mayor Sills. And of course, who tried them? Mayor Sills. He said, well, this isn't too bad, just a little chewy. And we had the best time there. I mean, we went to the schools. We even started a giveaway of books that we sent to Soweto and everything. So it was from the personal aspects as well as your professional and your caring and your tenacity that I feel we all appreciate everything that you did. And so in closing, I just like to say that I am honored to have served with you and be elected in the same year as the first African American mayor of the city of Wilmington. And so grateful for the opportunity to have this dedication of this bridge in your name. So as you leave home on some days and you maybe want to stroll to the park here, I hope that you will walk by this dedication with pride and smile as you see your name on this bridge, which is going to be dedicated today. And may God continue to bless you in all of your endeavors and everything that you do. Before Mayor Sills comes forward, I'm going to ask Hanifa, Jay, all of you, if you'll just come up here. Norman, Oliver, Dennis, please. All of you, just come around this way. There. Herman. And I think with the people that are here, I think this is what symbolizes everything for me. So bear with me. We say, did you ever know you were our hero? And everything we have come to be. We can fly higher than an eagle.
Sing it, Rev.
For you are the wind beneath our wings. Mayor Sills, the Honorable Mayor Sills, please come forward.
Congratulations. Great job.
At a time like this, I think of our great Presbyterian minister, Reverend Maurice Moyer, who always said, "Praise the Lord."
Praise the Lord.
I want to thank all of you for being here. Obviously, this is a very happy day for myself and my family, and I can't tell you how happy I am that all of you are here to help me celebrate this occasion. I'm glad that it has already been acknowledged that my family is here, sitting on the first row. My frat brothers are here, Kappas. Don't pay any attention about us having made a mistake. All of us are jealous of Kappas. I want to thank my good pastor, Reverend Christopher Bullock, for his wonderful prayer and for the very important spiritual leadership he has provided to me and my family over the years. I want to thank Stephanie Bolden, who is obviously the key person for this event. And it's her leadership, her vision for making this event possible. Stephanie has been a long-term supporter of mine and my family. She was a mentor to my daughter, Julie, who's sitting here. Julie, Stephanie was your assistant Girl Scout leader when you had a Girl Scout troop. And she has been always supportive of me and my family. I want to thank all of the people who spoke today. Senator Coons, Tom Gordon, our mayor. Dennis says I was his mentor. He was my mentee. And we both learned from each other in those days. I want to thank Theo Gregory for reminding me that I used to be his teacher. I want to thank Jay Street for reminding me that I was his teacher. I want to thank Senator Margaret Rose Henry, our senator, who has been such an inspiration to all of us over the years as a senator in the Delaware Senate. I want to thank, who else did I miss who spoke? Darius Brown, who is a councilman from this district. Senator Bobby Marshall, who spoke so well about our relationship over the years. Stephanie, who did I miss? Obviously got to say something about Secretary Shaileen Bhatt, not Blade, Bhatt, who worked tirelessly with Representative Stephanie Bolden for making this event possible. Oh yeah, Norman Oliver, who has talked about for seemingly years and years about something being named for Jim Sills. Norman, it finally happened. Where are you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the few minutes I've got left, 3 or 4, I want to try to make 2 points. First point is that this is obviously a beautiful bridge, the Market Street Bridge. It's a historic bridge. It's a bridge that's been pivotal in the overall economic development of our city. It's a bridge that represents the major entry point and exit point for our city. It's a bridge that really represents Wilmington in its entirety. And I can't think of any more symbol or governmental symbol historically for which I would want my name attached to. So I am grateful to have this Market Street Bridge called the Mayor James H. Sills Jr. Bridge. Thank you, Stephanie. The second point I would make is that it's really good for people to recognize what I supposedly have achieved. But I got to tell you, on this occasion, it's also important for me to emphasize that this city has given me far more than I've given it. Over the years, the city, through various leadership roles I've had, has embraced me, embraced my family, has given me a lot of leadership responsibility, leadership trust, public support in all of my endeavors. And I have had a chance to exercise leadership roles that I never anticipated that I would have when I came to this city. And I have to go back a little bit. It was 1959. I came to Wilmington to work at family court as a probation counselor. Had just gotten a master's degree from Atlanta University. Wilmington offered me my first job. I hadn't been married too long, had one child, Jim Sills Jr, who's over here. And I came to Wilmington in advance of my wife and my son to look for a place to stay. I went to the Red Cap when I got off the train and said, "Hey brother, can you give me some ideas where I might start?" He sent me to the Walnut YMCA. The people at the Walnut YMCA sent me to see a lady by the name of Rosa Bridges, who lived in the 1300 block of Tatnall Street. A retired school teacher, lived alone, had a beautiful house, took I and my family in. We stayed with Rosa Bridges for 2 years until I could save enough money to get an apartment, making $400 a month working for the family court of the state of Delaware. But it was a beginning, and I went on to buy a house on the east side of town, live on the east side of town with my family for 36 years, raised my family. My son, who came here with my wife, of all of 15 months old, who is now your Delaware Cabinet Secretary of the Department of Information and Technology. I'm going to embarrass him, but I'm going to do it anyway. Where's Jimmy, my son? Right here. Stand up, Jimmy. Thank you. I could go on, but I've had a blessed life in Wilmington. I appreciate this honor, but I know that much of what I've been able to achieve has been because of what has been given to me by the city and the citizens of this city and the trust that they've given me in the various leadership roles that I've had. So I'm grateful for for Representative Bolden, I'll make you one pretty soon, for taking the leadership and the initiative to make this day possible. I live too not far away over here at one of these condos, and it'd be nice to go on my patio and look out and see a bridge named after me. Somebody said, "Your bridge." I want to recognize a real special friend of mine. I'm so glad to see him here. Arthur Boswell, who was my chief of staff, my friend for a long number of years. Good to see you, Boss. Stephanie, I think I've said all I need to say. I see Tom, one of my assistants over here. Hi, Tom. Good to see you. Tom Norris. Yeah. Before we go to unveil the plaque on the bridge, we have one final thing we want to do, and I'm going to ask one of my family members to come and do that. But before that person comes, again, I want to thank you for being here. God bless you all.
Yeah, and we have some resolutions and things for you too that I want to give to you. Okay. Give you a special gift of thanks. Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
I just want to say that.
Julie.
I just want to say that to Representative Bolden, my mentor and someone I've admired for so long, is that you made our family's dream come true, because we wanted our dad to be with us when the city honored him. We always do it when people are gone, and we hope that he would be here. That's right. Thank you so much.
Thank Thank you so much. Mayor, we have several proclamations and things for you. Down to those things right there. And that we're going to leave for you. We're going to go and do the unveiling, but what I personally put this in a frame for you. And this is what you're going to take home with you. I'm not going to let you read it yet. So, but this one you'll have on your wall so you actually see what it says on the bridge. Okay? Okay, ready?
They're ready.
Throw it in. And you probably got a better aim than me. Ready?
All right, 1, 2, 3.